Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Link to the Past Randomizer. We are in the league here, Season 5. This is Week 7 of Co-op Randomizer. I am one of your commentators today, Esper Hub, and along with me, along the ride, will be Ninjimbro. How you doing today?
I am doing pretty good. Excited for this race. Excited to do some comments with you here, Esper Hub. And, you know, this race has a lot going on, between Team Don't Forget to Track Us and Team Oops All Foxes. Don't Forget to Track Us can clinch a playoff spot with a win this evening. And Oops All Foxes has to win this race to continue having a shot at making the playoffs. So there's a lot on the line in this race. So excited to see how it goes.
With this amount of high tension in the air, our runners are locking in, getting ready to go. So, what are we looking at for our co-op randomizer for this seed?
I mean, we're looking at a lot of nonsense, right? We're looking at all kinds of enemies everywhere. We're looking at, bosses being shuffled, 3 bosses that can appear twice. And just to throw a little chaos into the mix, we're starting with the boots despite not having a sword. So swordless dashing is already, really fun, but when you add, random spike rollers and Lionels into the mix, we could see some early deaths here by our runners, and we are off. Immediate sword in a sanctuary. So
we don't have to worry about that right now.
And we see Adalor actually taking the immediate save and quit to get that sword over on Oops All Fox's side.
This is understandable. You want a defensive weapon right off the bat for this kind of seed.
Yep, and immediately save and quitting to go back to Link's house. All right, looks like Fliphill's heading over here to Saha's hut, which is a pretty common play in boot start modes. And it looks like we have a pendant at Eastern and crystals at both Desert and Hera.
Yeah, with Fliphill doing this, they will probably save and quit, go into Sanctuary just to pick up their sword as well, so...
Oh yeah, for sure. Alright, so Saha's hut giving us a lamp, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's very good. And we did get at the peak of the... Oh my god, what they call it? I forgot what they call it, the ledge, but I think it was just a piece of heart.
Oh yeah, the lumberjack. Looks like it was just a piece of heart. So unless we need Aga for our Dark World access, we're not going to see Aga this evening. Adler heading into Escape here. Again, with this being co-op, not a very uncommon play, as we do find the Moon Pearl over at the Forest Dropdown.
Yeah, our runners are definitely going to come across that as soon as possible once they finish up their rest of the divergences. But yeah, as you previously said, splitting up the work between your teammate helps you cover a lot more ground a lot effectively, especially when it comes to finding key and vital items, such as, as we saw, for instance, the sword here.
Yep. We did see Chloe get the bonk bomb outside of Keck. Nice little heads up play, knowing that there's always a bomb under the one bonk rocks near that fortune teller's hut. So far, Blind's hut not showing too much promise here, although we do find a cape. Cape is actually pretty undervalued item in Randomizer. Just that invulnerability to get through some difficult rooms can be crucial. Ikir actually grabbing a fish to take to the bottle vendor.
Yeah, getting the money. I believe this is just to get money, so that they can prepare for the rest of the other checks that requires them, which is actually not a bad idea, especially if it's not too far from the bottle vendor.
Yeah, not a whole lot of money. Looked like just 20 rupees, but a bunch of bombs, full magic. Just really nice things to have. Chat pointing out, we actually already have Aga in Logic with that sword, cape, and lamp.
Yep. And with Moon Pearl, that means that if our runners do not find Hammer or Hammer Glove or Titan's Mitts, that may be their only access to go in the Dark World for this seed.
Yep. And it looks like attack, not delivering too much. Never mind, there was a bow. I didn't
there's
see
a
that
bow.
Oh, and a death from Chloe in the chicken hut there. Is there were a bunch of those little shadow guys?
Yeah, this is the joys and the pains of an Randomizer. You just... Places where you thought it was safe, it's not.
And that's one of the ones that can really get you.
Especially if you're on 3 hearts.
Yep, you're just used to being a bunch of chickens in there, but... Nope.
And Flip Hill taking a death, unfortunately.
I think there was a death warp, actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. That was
Going,
definitely a death warp.
Going to go to Dark Cross here. Pretty good play. Not guaranteed to get the key there, but if there is a key in Dark Cross, we can go all the way to the back escape.
Yeah. And that'll be 3 more checks for them to check out. If the key is in Dark Cross, that is.
And let's see what Dark Cross has for us today. Looks like just $50, so back of escape is locked by the glove.
I don't think they picked up the map in the escape sequence either, did they?
Because
that could also be locked behind there, so that's like
so.
one less item to worry about.
Sick Kid giving us the blue boomerang. Looks like Adalor's going to head into Eastern here.
I'm not sure if this is unless they already got the bow, I don't think this is a good notion to go for.
With it being Randomizer, the bow isn't as important for Eastern. And with Eastern being a pendant, the play isn't too bad, I think. Because again, with it being co-op, we're trying to clear as much as we can between 2 teammates.
Yeah.
So we're already actually running out of things to do on these runs.
Yeah, that's why I was like, this may not be a good idea. They probably should have gotten a bow before doing this to clear it out, just to make sure they clear it out. But yeah, there is ways to route this, and it's really hard to try. You want to avoid crossing your partner's path to get things.
Yep.
So I can understand that notion, but sometimes if you have to go to a dungeon and you know the dungeon key item is where your partner had found it, I would go for it as soon as possible.
Yep. And we do see a Master Sword over at the race game, so runners probably all going to be picking that up at some point in time. Yeah, pretty unlikely that bow will be necessary for Eastern, but on the off chance that it is, you're right. Might have been good to go get it. There's another sword in Eastern, so we're already at
we're gonna be tempered sword if our
tempered available.
Yeah, if our runners cross each other's paths, they'll be getting their tempered swords through other means, which is actually pretty surprising. I didn't think they'll be all starting off with tempers this soon.
Yeah, and with it being, Randomizer, early sword upgrades, or even just early swords, are very welcome. We are seeing the dam here over on Ikir's side, and as well down on Chloe's side. Just $20 is flooded. We'll see what the actual chest item is here in just a second. Just $5. Probably going to see mini Mordorm Cave here from one of the runners.
And with Master Sword, it shouldn't be that hard to deal with whatever's going in that room.
Yeah, and
unless there's unless you have to deal with some very painful enemies.
Adalor actually skipping the big key chest here and just going straight to the boss. With this being a pendant, I think I kind of prefer just checking the big key chest to see if we can get our last item.
Yeah.
And get out of here, but it is what it is. Meanwhile, I keep finding Red Cane.
Yeah, Red Cane is going to be very helpful for our runners.
Shield upgrade and not too much else.
That'll be very useful for our Misery Mire, not Misery Mire dive, but just like Ice Palace dive.
Oh yeah. We got you know, a clearable Eastern so far without that bow. So Adalor, you know, looking good. Not going and grabbing that bow immediately. We'll see what the boss is.
Oh!
We have a try next, so we're going to save and quit out of there immediately. Interestingly enough, though, that's actually a little bit of helpful info for that team because, as we said earlier, you know, each boss shows up a maximum of 2 times, and with already finding 1 Trinex, that's one less Trinex that we're not going to find somewhere else.
Yeah, hopefully that's the last one, too.
Ikir doing a water walk. Chloe's setting up for the water walk as well. Flip Heel going over to Agina's cave here. Also going to scout Desert Ledge and see nothing.
And what do we get behind the waterfall? Breaking the logic here. We get a piece of heart and a whole heart.
Yep. I'm going to check what the fairy decides to give us here. And green potion, not a bad pickup.
Hey, even if it isn't a blue, green is always good.
Yep. Just 3 bombs in Agina's cave. Let's see, Zora Ledge, just another bottle, so we're probably not going to see the runners try to get that.
Nah, well, especially if they already got one, so.
And Zora with just 3 bombs as well, so this is looking more and more like an Agaseed.
Yep.
Especially with that bow putting a majority of pod in logic. Because it is worth noting that while you may not need the bow to actually get through the rooms that you would normally need it, where the mimics are,
yep,
in pod, logically the bow is still required to get through that room. Unless that has changed, which I don't believe it has.
No, it hasn't. So yeah, Flip Hill is going through.
Yeah, get that Master Sword.
Getting their Master Sword.
So, Chloe in an interesting spot here. We still know that there's potentially an item in Eastern that Adalor had not found in the big key chest, and we know there's a 3rd sword there. But that's a lot of commitment just to get a sword upgrade and maybe another item. But it looks like they're going to go for it.
I'm not so certain about this, but they got lamp, so I may think they'd be getting. Oh wait, no, they're definitely going for it. Yeah, I feel like in this situation,
yeah, without the save and quit, I was like, "Yep, this is the Eastern dive."
Yeah, I would have saved and quit.
And Flip Heel just going straight for the Aga play. While Ikir is going to go see what's in Eastern Palace for these runners.
So yeah, I don't think between the checks between all 4 of our runners, we have yet to come across either gloves or hammer. Gloves will definitely open up Death Mountain, and hopefully we get something there.
Yeah, but
if we don't get anything else, this is definitely an Aga 1 seed.
Yeah, and even then, even if it's the glove, still probably an Agaseed just because of how little it opens on the mountain.
Well, we're hoping we get glove first because that way
right.
That'll allow us to see if we can get hammer in Death Mountain. But if it's not there,
Chloe getting that sword and saving quitting and looks like is making that Aga play. Meanwhile, Ikir in Eastern Palace for team. Don't forget to track us. This is the first time that their team is in Eastern. Flip Heel actually looking for some hearts under pots here because only
this room
hearts.
This room is kind of dicey. I don't blame him one bit.
Ikir getting that tempered sword, and Flip Heel's probably like, man, a tempered sword would be nice, Definitely not like a necessity for these runners this early, but something you want to keep in the back of your mind to go get if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think going all the way to Eastern just for that Tempered Sword is going to be on Flipheel's mind. But if you're at Pod and you have the mirror, might be worth the minute or so to go get that Tempered Sword.
Yeah, speaking of which, I don't think we have a mirror yet either.
Nope.
Was that 10 arrows?
Yeah, just 10 arrows in the big chest, and Ike here are going to go check the big key chest, see if we find anything useful there. Meanwhile, Adalor heading into Aga Tower. So both runners of Oops All Foxes currently in the tower with just Flip Heel, and don't forget to track us, but I'm sure Ike here will be there pretty soon.
Yeah, Ike here will be there shortly. They're just doing a check that we have not seen.
Yep. Yeah, really the only way Ikea won't end up there is, again, if we find, like, the glove.
Yeah, if we find glove, we'll get a lot more divergence, for sure. And now for the moment of truth. Is gloves
Probably
behind
nothing.
chest? Oh, it's a hammer!
So, interesting enough, that still makes us the Naga Seed, but that opens the South Dark World, and also... puts like the rest of Pod in logic.
And this is why if you're going to go in a dungeon to diverge, you need to at the very least full clear it or something like that.
We obviously, as the commentary and the chat, have the benefit of hindsight, but I'm really, really shocked that Chloe in there getting the sword did not go the rest of the way for that one item that Adalor decided to skip.
Yeah, now it all depends on how long or how the hammer would benefit both runners from team Don't Forget to Track Us, which may tilt it in their favor, but we gotta see how much mileage they get off the hammer.
Yeah. And honestly, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Oops All Foxes gets back to that hammer pretty quick, because it very well could just be that hammer leads to exactly one glove, which leads to the rest of the Dark World. So I like hammer is one of those items that locks progression pretty hard.
Well, I wouldn't say locks progression pretty hard, but it locks the later areas pretty hard, perhaps.
Yeah.
If you still pick up, like, if you even without the hammering, like, gloves alone will help you go through Death Mountain. If you get the hook shot, you can go through even more Death Mountain.
Right.
But like I said, it depends on what happens of what we come across in the Dark World that will help tilt the favor of whatever our runners are actually ahead or actually far behind. But yeah, if something keeps edging Oops All Foxes away from going into Eastern, they will start to lose the pacing very, very quickly.
I think glove and hook shot and potentially also mirror are the biggest things that will take them away from it. If any of those things are locked behind the hammer, they'll get there pretty quick. But if those things are not hammer locked, it could be a while.
Yeah. So here's hoping after they taken care of their Aga 1 to see if there's anything that they can get rid of. I mean, get to.
Yep.
Because right now we're just looking at 3 bombs on the pyramid ledge, and that's not going to help them.
Ike are going to have to be a little careful here. Has that cape though, and is entering into that Aga fight, so should be pretty safe as long as they don't kind of clown up the fight a little bit.
And here we see Chloe going into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, and Adler is going to follow right in behind that, because from their team's perspective, there's nothing in that Eastern Big Key chest. This is where they have to go. It's the only thing they have available. Meanwhile, Flip Heel about to get their hammer.
Just finished up the AGA 1 fight as well. Yep, they're going to get the hammer, save and quit. And they're going to meet up with their teammate to go into Dark World very soon.
Yeah, and like they've already cleared AGA 1, so they're just going to hop right through the portal here and start clearing stuff.
So what we're looking for on Don't Forget to Track Us side is if Hammer is locking behind any of the gloves, Hookshot, and Mirror.
Right. We got a map check. We got green pendant pod and a pendant at Thieves, and our 5-6 are Turtle Rock Skull Woods.
Yeah, I got a lot of work to do this seed.
All right, hopping in the Hype Cave over here on Flip Heel's side. Wouldn't be surprised if Ikir heads over to Pod while Flip Heel does the South Dark World check here.
We get a book. That leads to more items, but that's just
Yep.
about it. This is not really much of a high cave. This looks like a back of the storage room of a library here. Yeah, I don't see anything over at Oops All Fox's side in the pod dive, so. But
Nothing coming up yet.
that could mean the back half of this area could have something promising. We do get our big key finally.
Stumpy providing us with $20, just a little lunch money. Meanwhile, back of Pod's still coming up empty. Just a couple keys there in the Rupee basement.
Thankfully, our runners are now on blue mail, so they don't have to worry too much about taking much damage.
Still only on a couple hearts, so it's a little rough, but as we find hearts, it'll open up a good bit. And Dig Game having nothing. So we're probably going to see Flip Heel.
Dip in the pod, perhaps?
No, because they could go do like the Thieves Town area, but it looks like we're gonna. Looks like this might be the desert play here with the book.
Oh right.
But also, they still need to go get their red cane here. So making a quick detour for their red cane. I believe their team has already seen a Gina because they showed us that it was just a couple bombs. But oh yeah, no glove or mitts. Makes sense. We can't go over there. So yeah, this is straight up going to be a run over to Desert Palace. Oh, and a death on Chloe's side here. God, and these spike rollers that just materialize out of thin air.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, and finding a mirror in Pod Maze.
Alright, so that mirror will at the very least lead to Tower of Hera. But with the hammer, you can now go into Eastside Death Mountain.
Oh, we don't have a glove to get up there yet.
Oh right, we don't have the glove yet. I forgot. Oh my god.
You're falling for the same trap I did, thinking that we can do stuff, but we can't do stuff.
Yep.
So Desert Palace is probably the key.
Alright, Desert, what you got for us?
Meanwhile, Adalor doing a Gina here for Oops All Foxes, I believe. Because I don't believe we've seen that on their side.
Yeah, they haven't checked it at all over here. Just the compass on the first treasure room on the right. And our second one should be the big key. Wait, no.
Nope.
Just bomb.
Big key on the
Torch.
torch then.
Yep.
Chloe on their way to Agina, but Adalor. Did they maybe miscount the items in Eastern? Because Adalor looks a little confused.
They're probably wondering what they have missed, and I bet you it's because Eastern Palace for sure. Which looks like what Chloe is doing right now.
But even then, you should realize, like, oh, I purposely went to the boss hoping that it was the last item, but I couldn't beat the boss, so there's still an item in Eastern. Because if there was nothing left in Eastern, you would have just saved and quit out of there, because you're not going to clear Eastern for the pendant.
Yeah. Well, even then, they couldn't even do it because of those Trinecks, so...
Right.
But, yeah, Fliphill taking an unfortunate death, and I think they...
Yeah, there's a roller or something weird in here, I think. Oh, no.
It was just a bunch of guards and a roller, so he was in a very bad spot.
Yeah, our solution is K45, I think, has to have either a glove or the flute. I can't think of too many other things that could be there. Actually,
yeah.
The flippers could be there as well, giving us the ability to get into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, the ability to, yeah. I would not be surprised if Swamp Palace is loaded, now that you mention it.
Yeah, as soon as we find those, if flippers are at K45, like, Swamp just looks really good, because I think the only other thing that would be open by that is the, no, that's it.
Yeah, and it looks like both runners for Oops All Foxes are going to get that treasure chest, and they will soon find out that it's the hammer, so
yep.
They have not really lost that much ground, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Because all our runners are still scrambling to find the next set of progression to help set them apart. And they're just kind of like still in this same kind of blurring into the lines and whatnot, so.
Yep. Both runners on Don't Forget to Track Us are in pod now. So Flip Heel is in here for the first time, I think, but
he has the mirror, so he's been in here.
No, he does not. I think the tracker's wrong because the mirror's in the back, and he just got the small key out of the first chest.
Yeah.
Ike here does have the mirror, though, and Flip Heel's going to get it pretty soon. Flip Heel going to go all the way to the boss here.
So yeah, we'll be seeing what the boss has for us. And this room is okay, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Lots of low health enemies.
I was a little bit worried that it was gonna be a lot more of the mummies, though. That was the worrying part. But yeah, Iker is gonna see what's in the next boss room and feed that intel to their teammates to see if it's worth fighting or not.
And we can't fight it. It's another unbeatable boss.
Alright then. K45 it is.
Yeah, we're going to see that K45 here on Adalor's side in just a second.
Is it the hammer? Is it the flute?
Well, we have the hammer.
I mean, is it the gloves or is it the flute? It has to be one or the other here.
Glove, flute, or flippers, and it's ice
cream. What? Okay, what can our runners do?
Yeah, what did we?
What did we miss? Catfish?
Right here. No. Bombos.
Okay, yeah, bombos. Yeah, this makes sense now.
There's the flippers.
Now we get to go in the swamp.
Yeah, this is Like, swamp is literally the only thing left to do right now. This seat is trash.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And not too far behind Oops All Foxes, Flipfield from Don't Track Us is going to find out that K45 will just have their Ice Rod.
So
Granted, Ice Rod is still needed, so it's fine to get this, but they're going to have to start going into the desert.
Eastern was a pendant, so it might not be needed. Well,
that's where they got their hammer.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, we don't have to kill the boss in Eastern.
Oh, right.
But
well,
technically,
there could still be another
Trinex,
though. Yeah, so it could be another Trinex.
Logically, because of Turtle Rock. But our tracker's pointing out, I had missed this earlier, there is a flute on Hylia Island, so that opens a lot. Yeah, that opens a lot.
Yeah, that'll open up the rest of it.
Yep, that'll give us all of the Light World Mountain. So this is one of those weird spots where you kind of start to wonder, like, even though it doesn't feel good to do, do you send one of your runners into Swamp Palace?
Yes. Because I'll be legitimately honest, at this point, yes, because you still need a lot more information to go off of. Someone can do east side. I mean, someone can still do west side swamp.
Yep.
And get that out the way for the other runners. So.
Yep, and it looks like we're seeing exactly that on Ikir's side. Heading into swamp while Flip Heel goes and gets their flute and is going to activate that. Meanwhile, Chloe saving the old man, and Adalor, we'll see if they make the swamp dip. Nope. This is one of those things where I can see it either way. You just hate making the swamp dip, and it feels so likely that your progression is on Death Mountain, so you're just going to hedge and send both of your runners there. But when you're trying to split things up as much as possible, swamp, even though it feels terrible to dip, doesn't feel like a bad play. Oh, and there's a glove on Spectacle Rock.
Let's go. There we go.
Flip Heel going to go activate their flute here.
They're going to find out that glove is up here, and then probably once Ike will... Probably once Ike finishes the West Side Swamp, they'll definitely start going up the mountain. Unless something is super important in here, like the hook shot, which I would not put it past this dungeon to do that.
Right. Yeah, and since Adalor didn't dip swamp, but there's Fire Rod actually in Swamp Palace.
All right, so that information is definitely very valuable right there.
That could get us. There is a chance that Swamp Double Dip is required if the hook shot is behind that Fire Rod.
So you mean to tell me Coffee Break Room is mandatory here?
We'll see.
I mean, I could go for a coffee break right now. I wouldn't mind. I need some more caffeine right now.
Adalor are going to grab a glove here in just a moment. Meanwhile, Flip Heel about to see that glove. But on Don't Forget to Track Us side, even though, they just saw that glove on Spectacle Rock, the fact that you dipped Hookless Swamp and found an important item doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, finding the Fire Rod in Swamp, even if you can't clear it. It's like that's what you're expecting to be in there with how disgusting the seed has been.
Yep, and Adalor actually grabbing that glove and immediately leaving the mountain to go over here to the swamp and village of, or not swamp, Skull Woods and Village of Outcasts area. I think this is a really good play. It gives Chloe time to finish up more of the mountain while still getting new checks. I'm not sure if we saw Chloe finish Hera or not.
No, I don't think so. They just promptly left it after getting the big chest and small chest, if I'm not mistaken.
Cold stare
Cold
at the
stare.
top of the tower. That would be a good reason to leave. Considering they can't fight Cold Stare yet. And yeah, Flip Heel climbing Hera now is also going to get that same information, and Ikir's the one with the fire rod, so not exactly ideal.
Yeah.
And we are in Paradox on Chloe's side, so see if we find anything there while Adalor's in Skull Woods. Nothing in those first two chests here. Oh, and getting grabbed by the Wallmaster there in the pinball room, so probably going to go back around for that. But ooh,
oh, this is
getting
really
bullied.
bold. Doing Coffee Break Room as one of the first rooms in Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
I forgot you do have lanterns, so you can light it up.
Yep. And I believe they got up there and saw that Cold Stare, so they were like, well, I can't finish this. Let's at least go do... Yeah, because they had already went up Hera.
Yeah.
So they're just doing this last and then leaving.
Oh, right. I'm having a memory lapse, excuse me.
Four runners is a lot to keep track of. And it's the mitts! Okay.
Oh, no.
So, a little unfortunate for Oops All Foxes. That's a couple things that they're just not finding right now.
They're gonna get... Alright, unless they get another blessing by the seeds, horrid item placement, I could see them coming back to going back up there to get it as soon as possible.
Yeah, this is just rough.
Oh my goodness.
Chloe going to be able to finish Desert on this first dip of it as long as the boss is a killable one.
I think they did check it, but forgot who it was, but I think it was
Desert?
yeah, Vanilla Lamo. Well, it could be
Okay.
Lamo 2, which moves a little bit more faster, but still Lamo.
Now we are seeing Bumper Cave here on Adalor. I think we saw Quake up there.
Yep, they're definitely going to be needing all of them, either one of the medallions, and pray that it's the same one for both entries for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, or collect them all and not have to worry about them.
Right. Yep, and Chloe getting their second item out of Desert here, and not finishing Desert just yet. I guess saying, like, I can come back later once we find the mitts to do the back, which makes sense. And we are seeing a graveyard ledge here, just a piece of heart. I mean, we know where a lot of our progression is at this point.
Yep, it is a matter of piecing all together to be in go mode.
I mean, it's very possible that we are a hookshot from go mode. Unless I'm really missing something.
Nah,
If
hookshot it is.
it's a 1 in 9 chance because of it would require both Mire and Turtle Rock to be Quake, although there's Bombos in King's Tomb on Adalor's side. So much higher chance now.
I like this play. Bonking on to get the first chest here.
Yep,
And it's just 10 arrows.
And we do get confirmation that Bombos is required for Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, Ikir here in the Cold Stare fight has to refill their magic. Yeah, playing this fight a little safe.
Yeah, the falling guys, and then you still gotta worry about falling off the ledge here if you're not really careful.
Oh, careful, okay. Chloe in Village of Outcasts here while Adalor's checking Catfish. Flip heal into the Mire area, and we do get a half magic off of Cold Stare there, and our first crystal of the race at almost 40 minutes for Ikir.
To be really honest here, the seed is this terrible for it to be that expected. And they're going right back in because they know that basement has their Titanment, so they're gonna do their coffee break room.
Yep.
I didn't mean to call coffee break room, but I just...
And Red Boomerang in Checkerboard Cave. And Adalor heading into Swamp Palace here is going to find that Fire Rod here shortly.
Meanwhile, in the Thieves Town dungeon, Chloe pulls out the silvers in one of the 4 chests, so our runners are going to be coming across that very, very shortly. The moment they stepped in, basically, they'll have it.
Yeah, but there's a possibility that they don't end up there if they get in go mode first, because it is a pendant.
Well, it depends on if both runners feel if both runners go in there at the same time. You still have to clear that dungeon, and the position where Silvers is at, you can diverge a little bit away from that, though.
Well, what I'm saying is it's a pendant. If they get in go mode before dipping there, they don't have to go in there at all.
Right. Unless Hookshot is, locked behind.
In there.
Yeah.
And looks like the boss was Armos, which Chloe did beat and is going back in to finish the rest of the dungeon. Meanwhile, Flip Heal heading to the back. And I just realized another thing. I'm a little surprised on Oops All Fox's side. Again, with this being co-op, you tend to want to be more thorough than anything else. And they know for a fact from counting items in Hera that there is an item in the basement. I'm confused as to why they didn't go there to see what it is.
Well, like I said before, depending on how the progression is treating our runners, they probably go back to it without much issue. So
yeah, but I mean, they could have already been there.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can really think of is, for Oops All Foxes, this is a make or break game. As we said at the beginning of this race, if Don't Forget to Track Us wins this race, the Misery Mire division is settled, other than seeding. They will clinch the last playoff spot for the division. But if Oops All Foxes wins this race, there is still a chance that they could get into the playoffs. So they could be making some risky skips, hoping that they pay off. But of course, unfortunately, they haven't been paying off. But yeah, no wild card in Invitational.
All
But
right.
the running for 4th place in this division is just pretty close. But yeah, Oops All Foxes would have to win both races against Don't Forget to Track Us. And I believe some tiebreakers would have to go in their favor as well. We're seeing the Smith chain here for Flip Heel.
Selling price is 5 rupees, by the way.
Useful maybe a little earlier in the seed. At this point, you're kind of hoping for like something a little more useful.
Like full magic, perhaps, or even a small magic.
Yeah.
That room is cursed, by the way, that we're seeing in Ice Palace.
That room in Randomizer is just never a good time. It's just always awful. You know, we got 3 of those things. Now the good news is we have half magic and we have the cape, so it's pretty free to get through there.
Yeah, this is why getting cape early in an Randomizer seed is a blessing in disguise.
Nice icebreaker there from Ikir, getting just a small key for their trouble. Adalor going to find out that other than that fire rod, not a whole lot here in Swamp Palace. Finding out there's a Helmassar waiting for us at the end of Swamp Palace. Of course, we can't get there because we don't have the hook shot, but they know once they get the hook shot, they can defeat that boss.
Yep.
See where Adler takes that fire rod. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Skull Woods.
We do get a mushroom in pancake. More fetch quests, anyone?
Honestly, though. Also gives us the opportunity to do a fake powder, which we'll probably see on Flippeel's side.
Yeah, they got the right stuff to do it with. Cane of some more. Mushroom. All they need now to do is to just drain their magic.
Yep. And again, they're right here, so it would be very odd of a choice to not do it. Using the cape to drain the magic. A little slower, I think, than just spamming ice rod shots, but I could be wrong.
Well, they had Lantern. They could have spammed that as well.
They could have spammed that as well, yeah.
Yep, they activated the fake mushroom, and the bat is going to give us
Nothing.
bombs. Guess you could say the bat has an explosive personality.
But Alright, we are about to see the boss here on Ikir's side. This is one of those rooms, yep, you always wait for a moment to see if there's wall masters, and there are wall masters in this room.
And some mini morts hiding under rocks. Oh my goodness. That's terrifying to see.
And the basement has
Oh
a
my
shrine. we have the necessary tools, that's good.
Thank goodness we have Ice Rod and Fire Rod already. This would have been a mess. Oh dear me.
Adalor in the back of Skull Woods now, while Flip Heel is in Thieves Town, going to find those silvers. Chloe is back in Pod to get... I guess to go and see if they can beat the boss for the last item of the dungeon, but they're not going to be able to fight it because it was a
Argus, right?
It was an Argus, yeah.
Yeah. They need the hook shot for that. Meanwhile, we get the rave room on the treadmills today in Skull Woods.
Yeah.
Not entirely bad, but this thing can still go wrong if any of the knights.
And Adalor low on health here.
Oh no, I think it actually did happen. Oh wait, nope. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. It's back again. That knight went off screen, and I was like, "Oh no! Please, knight, come back! No, don't leave us here.
Yeah,
Don't let us. Don't soft lock us."
They do some weird things. Um,
What is this knight doing?
Gonna have to be very careful now. Low on health, low on arrows, although should have enough. Okay,
There
gets
we
through the
go.
fight just fine.
That was stress inducing. Not gonna lie.
Meanwhile, stuff is happening on the other runner sides. Again, 4 runners, tough to keep track of everything. Chloe finding out that is in fact Argus. Can't do anything there. Flip heel going to go turn in this purple chest, while Ikir is about to head to the back of Skull Woods.
They will be doing their fight as well. Meanwhile, still in the back of Skull Woods, Alador is going to check out the last chest in Skull. Well, no, not last chest, but the back chest, and that's our fourth door.
Yeah, I believe on Oops All Fox's side, they have already found everything or every other chest, so they knew that had to be an item. Ike here showing us what was on the ped. Ped is dead. We already knew that from Oops All Fox's side, but I didn't quite see what was there when they checked it, so I wasn't sure personally if it was dead or not. Flip heel about to get that Quake medallion. Really, as I had mentioned earlier, we are looking for
Hookshot at this point.
We're looking for a hookshot and ether for go mode, as we do require ether medallion to get into Misery Mire.
Oh, right. Those two could just wear. Well, besides Ped, we already
we got a little high five on Oops All Foxes, both of them heading into the Dark World here at the exact same time. I think this is going to be... Yeah, this is Hera Basement from Adelaide.
Yep. With the way how
this isn't enough. Oh, okay. They still have that blue or that green potion on Oops All Fox's Chloe's side, so able to get through Spike Cave and just getting a heart container for their troubles. Now Adelor is going to have to go up and get that small key before they can do the basement. Interesting to note, though, that they're also going to be able to beat Cold Stare, so they're going to get that half magic before going to the basement.
That's right, this is a crystals. They will be doing it.
Yep. And seeing this Armos fight from Ike here.
Yeah, deciding to use arrows here. I do not blame them.
Yeah, for it being a conveyor belt Armos fight, went incredibly smoothly.
That conveyor belt was generous. I'm not gonna lie. That could have went south really, really quick. We do get our mushroom turn-in from Flip Hillside. They are going to do the magical bonk transition.
Yep.
And we get, in the witch's hut, the mushroom turn-in, a piece of heart.
Just a piece of heart. Our next play from a viewer perspective, I think, is Turtle Rock.
Yep. You do
to find our progression.
You do have the necessary tools to do that, so it is on the plate, as some would say. It depends on who gets to eat the first bite from it first.
Yep. Nice Cold Stare fight there from Adelor. Chloe going to get their Quake medallion. Adelor getting that half magic and their second crystal. Meanwhile, Catfish just giving us $50 over on Flip Heel's side. Going to say no thank you. and going to get their mitts here in just over a minute.
It looks like Chloe is about to.
Oh, so it was just being pointed out that Ether was tracked earlier on for Misery Mire, but I guess that was incorrect. It was actually Quake, so we are able to get into Misery Mire on Don't Forget to Track Us Aside. So yeah, we are looking for just the hook shot for Go mode here.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's in either. You know what? What was our 5 and 6 crystals? Turtle Rock and Skull Woods, right?
Yeah, Turtle Rock and Skull Woods. We could have hook shot in
Waterfall. I mean, Pyramid Fairy.
In the Pyramid Fairy. Seems a little unlikely. My bet is on it being in Turtle Rock just from a density standpoint.
Yeah.
But you know, that's not saying that it can't be at Pyramid Fairy. It's definitely possible.
At this point, nothing is guaranteed. We don't know where these items end. We're just hoping to find them in our bet from whatever we make our bets.
Right. And I think this is going to be one of those things like, you know, Flip Heel's in Mire. Ikir is probably going to head to Turtle Rock here. The two of them able to kind of split that remaining info. Although I am being proven wrong, as tends to happen.
But yeah. While we're going through crisscrossing paths and going through the quiet part of this run so far, do give our runners a follow on their respective channels. They're doing a fantastic job of working through the sea, despite how god-awful it is, especially in the early part.
I mean, and yeah, it really was just that. You know, the early game was completely abysmal, but, you know, we were just picking up our first crystal not that long ago. Ikir in Thieves Town, I guess, really wants those silver arrows.
Yeah, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yep.
Not too far in there.
It is a pendant, so no real reason to stay here. I don't know if Flip Heel went and did the back of this dungeon, so this could be them cleaning up the rest. And it looks like that's what it's going to be here. Meanwhile, Chloe doing some of the Dark Death Mountain, while Adalor is also in Mire with along with Flip Heel.
Which is a god mire, by the way. Which is kind of unfortunate that it's a god mire, because you wish to be in go mode to get your god mire, so you can go through it a lot quicker, but no, it's not.
Right. And we do have a vanilla Vitreous as our boss.
Nice.
Flip Heel going for the rail clip here. Having a little bit of trouble, but ultimately getting it. And yeah, it looks like Chloe is making the Turtle Rock play. I don't know what rods Chloe has. I would assume.
Well, Fire Rod was
they didn't go into to Swamp, and the location of the Ice Rod wasn't great, and there's a net immediately locking out of Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Like, I feel like all of our runners did K45 already, kind of.
Yep, all except for Chloe.
Oh, okay, yeah. And Trinex is one of the dungeons boss required because of Ice Palace, which
right.
Chloe is stepping into.
Oh,
Now, see, Oops All Foxes doesn't know this, so this will be
right.
their first time going in, which makes a lot more sense of them going in here blind.
This is just, you know,
but it's heartbreaking to see.
The plays make sense, but it's just punishing. You know, Trinex is literally the only boss that can be in this dungeon. Oh no, and Argus. But those are the only two bosses that could be here that you can't fight.
And I'm pretty sure one of the runners on Don't Forget to Check us already went through here already.
Yep, that was Ike here. Full cleared Ice Palace earlier. Flip Hill entering the Vidi fight while Ike here is heading into Turtle Rock.
Well, you got silvers. What are you doing? Oh, okay.
I think just conserving arrows. They have a ton of arrows though. So and there's the hook shot.
Yeah, there's the hook shot. I believe that's our go mode.
That is in fact go mode for Don't Forget to Track Us. They have everything they need to fight every boss and to get through every dungeon. It's just a matter of cleaning up. Ike here, of course, is going to stay in Turtle Rock here. It makes sense. Well, actually, there could be an Argus here. So if there's an Argus in Turtle Rock, this is unfortunate. But otherwise, this gives them the ability to scout the key layout so that Flip Heel knows exactly where to go when going through this dungeon. Yeah, and Ike here, as Chad is pointing out, unfortunately having a hard time with the hardest trick in Randomizer, which is to go the right way in that torch room when you don't have the hook shot.
To be really honest, it's hard baked into our brains to have hook
is.
shot by the time into going into Turtle Rock.
But again, in their defense, they realized before going the long way around. They realized almost immediately and were able to turn around in that little turnaround spot at the top.
Yeah. Thank goodness there's no chain chomps in here. Oh my goodness. This is probably the most forgiving room ever.
Yeah.
Now watch there be chain chomps somewhere down there or in Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I did see a chain chomp in that first big room, but it was of course avoidable because you're on a little platform. You can choose your destiny. Now, good thing to note on Ikir's side, even though we don't know what the boss is, we're still going to almost certainly clear Turtle Rock. Oh!
Master Hand, no! Out of nowhere!
That's really good. That's incredible. As I was saying, is going to play this dungeon as if they are in go mode. They're not going to go out of their way looking for a compass just to maybe get that information. They're just going to head to the...
I would have probably left this dungeon by now if I got Master Hands like that. I'm not going to lie.
You know what? Actually, kind of like joking aside about like just leaving because, why not? I actually think leaving would have been a perfectly acceptable play here because we already have the key layout for the majority of the dungeon. And it would be really painful to get to the end of the dungeon now and find out that it's an Argus.
Yep.
I actually think going through the rest of the dungeon here is the wrong play. But that being said, they have such a lead right now. Like, there can be an Argus at the end of this dungeon.
And they'll still be able to get into the Ganon's Tower.
They're still ahead. Yeah. That being said, there's still the opportunity for trolling. There's execution that can happen.
Yeah.
And even though I'm pretty sure, looking at what the runners have, it is a lead. It's not. Oh, there's a compass, so we can check the dungeon boss info, and it is. I actually missed what that was.
I blinked and I didn't see it.
I was just looking at the wrong spot on the screen and missed what it was. But clearly, it is not an pretty. Oh. So
Ouch.
1, it's a blind, but 2, a death. Gonna have to go all the way through again. Really
Those
unfortunate.
Cristarollas are no joke.
So, remember what I said earlier about how, death and execution and whatnot can make up a difference? We're starting to see that potentially in action.
They weren't too deep into. Well, no, they was in the second half, kind of.
They were right at the end.
That was really unfortunate.
Adler cleaning up Desert Palace here. I do believe, Oops All Foxes is also in go mode. So this is a race to the finish for both teams.
Yep. From the way they cleared, from the way that desert is cleared, and now they're just sort of just transitioning into the next dungeon, which is Misery Mire. But yeah, Oops All Foxes will get their hook shot. They will definitely be in go mode, and it'll be all good.
Ike here heading into that dark room again. This time looking for revenge.
Not really looking for revenge, but looking for a way to play Limbo, and almost started to go the wrong way, unfortunately. But that's fine; they can get back on course.
Yeah, pretty easy to course correct in here. Going for the little health refill there. Definitely do not blame them for that, with getting wall mastered and then dying.
Even taking a safety exit, so yeah, I can't fault them for that either. Oh wait, no, checking the rest of. Wait, there's no reason to check the rest of.
Well, we still need a small key.
All right, we still need the small key. That's correct.
And there it is.
There we go.
Third chest. Yeah, and there's the Armos kill from Flip Heel in Skull Woods. And Ike here heading to the blind fight here.
Hopefully they don't do the same mistake I did, where they run through ice. They run through blind with Kate heading towards north and locking themselves because of it. Okay, there we go. No, they're not.
And of course, with this being in Turtle Rock, this fight, you can't rely on the script. Ike here, you might want to just swap over to the cave.
There you go. He was trying to make sure not to drain the magic, but you get your magic refill by getting the crystal anyway, so you could have just went nuts.
that had me sweating a little bit. Not gonna lie. All right, Chloe in the Vitreous fight here, going to use the silver arrows. Meanwhile, Adalor and Flip Heel both in Ice Palace. I believe both of them able to clear Ice Palace with the benefit of the knowledge from their teammate. And just go mode the dungeon. Meanwhile, Ike here is leaving Turtle Rock. Only has, I say only, but has 3 dungeons still to finish. Desert Palace, Swamp Palace, and Misery Mire. We still need 3 dungeons on Flip Heel's side. And we need 3 on Adalor and 6 on Chloe. Again, all those counts are assuming that trackers are accurate, which I'm assuming they're pretty accurate. Also, shout outs to our trackers, so Last Summer and Juber. Clicking a lot of buttons so that we can see on screen what these runners have. Ike here in the back of Desert Palace, as well as Chloe. Adalor getting that crystal out of Ice Palace. Flip Heel going to get that crystal here in just a couple moments.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Getting roughed up. Oh,
no.
accidentally quick swapping to the mirror while.
Actually, I think they're just out of magic.
They're just out of magic and not going to be able to beat Trinex. Yeah.
Yeah, they need a bottle.
I mean, they don't
get a bottle.
They don't need a bottle.
Well, they just need a refill, but a bottle will also help out a lot.
Yeah. And I think there's a bottle right here. Yep. There's the bottle with the B. We're going to go over to the magic shop and refill magic and probably buy a blue potion.
Yeah, this is like the importance of the difference between having a bottle and not. And an analyzer just like this. Because even if you know you have to fight a Trinex, if you're out of magic because the anti-fairy's just railing into you hard, you're just... it has to be the worst feeling. Thankfully, they can get back to that fight pretty soon.
Yep, they're heading straight back there now. You know, just unfortunately not having that half magic from Tower of Hera, but you're not going to go up to Tower of Hera just to get that half magic and do more mountain climbs. But on the other hand, doing that, or had they done that before coming here, they probably would have
been in a
spent less time than going through Ice Palace twice. But you know, hindsight 2020, all of that jazz. It's easy to say. I will admit, even as a runner and a commentator, it is easy to say a lot of these things. But when you're in the runner's shoes, it's a completely different story. It's much harder to make optimal decisions when you're in a race environment than having the benefit of, you know, just watching and being a sideline viewer. And yeah, in chat pointing out, we do have a lot of screens that we're following right now, so very easy to mistake something happening on one runner's side when, you know, it was actually something that happened on somebody else's screen. I don't know how many times doing commentary for some of these 4-player, you know, co-op races where it's just you do the best that you can.
Kind of feels like we need a third wheel at this point to help track the action at this right now.
We need like a color commentator, like kind of in our ear, saying, you know, so and so did this. But yeah, Adalor beating Helmisar here in Swamp Palace, getting their 5th crystal. Actually, no, I can count 6th crystal. Actually,
they're 1 away from going into GT.
Yeah, and their last crystal is going to be Turtle Rock. Ike here still has to do Swamp Palace after finishing Misery Mire here. So actually, between Ikir and Adalor, Ikir will probably be a little quicker to GT, but not much. It actually might be pretty close. Adalor could be the first one
it's
to
kind of
GT.
head to head at this point. But it depends on how quickly they cleared Swamp Palace after this.
Yep. Yeah, Turtle Rock isn't exactly a fast dungeon. And Ike are actually a little low on arrows here, so not going to be able to do the silver arrow kill on Vitreous.
They got gold sword and they got gold sword, half magic, and cape.
Yep, we're just going to see
Who
the dash
needs
strats here.
silvers?
And I actually think that might be a little faster than silvers anyway.
And then take 2 and call me in the morning, Mitty.
Yep. The real question will be whether or not Ikir or any of these runners that are... is anybody else low on arrows? Looks like Ikir's the only one. I don't think they will, but there could be a potential argument for just running over to the Wishing Well and buying the arrow capacity upgrade.
Nah, because there's refills.
There's refills everywhere.
Yeah, there's refills are like even in enemy drops here. So. Yeah. Especially in GT, there should be at least 1 or 2.
That's actually true. That's a good point. There's definitely an arrow pickup in Swamp Palace, I believe, that they can do. And then once they're in GT, with it being Randomizer, they don't even need arrows for the mimic rooms, unless there's mimics there, of course. But really, pretty good shape arrow wise. There's a couple pots along the climb that you can pick up for arrows. So yeah, never mind what I was saying earlier about going to the Wishing Well. That would be very silly. Ike here going into Swamp Palace, forgetting that you need to drain the swamp first. Meanwhile, Flip Heel and Adalor both in Turtle Rock. Chloe Prower heading into Ice Palace.
Oh, be right back, door.
No worries. Alright, Ike here now actually in Swamp Palace after draining it. Chloe going to head to their Trinex fight. Does have a bottle in hand, so running out of magic shouldn't be as much of a concern as it was on Flip Heel's side. Ooh, and Adalor not getting grabbed by that Wallmaster. Top tier gaming going on over here. Meanwhile, Ike here doing the diver down here, opening a couple chests. Thinking of the things they could be hoping for, maybe a powder. And I guess just heart containers, maybe another bottle. Adalor actually checking the Turtle Rock big chest here, kind of hedging against the 3% chance of a bad key layout. But just finding a piece of heart there. Meanwhile, Ike here about to go fight Helmsar King.
Alright, I've returned. And it looks like I just came in at the right time, seeing the simultaneous fight of Helmsar and Trinex.
Yep. I was actually just about to point out, it feels like in Argus's room, Helmastar's fireballs looked a little more red than usual. Obviously, just because the sprite palette differences. 7th Crystal on Ikir's side, meaning they are ready to go into GT. So we do have a little game that chat likes to play a lot, the GT Big Key guessing game. So if you are so inclined, go ahead and get your guesses in chat. There are 22 possible locations for the GT Big Key within the basement. So you put your guess in chat, and if you are correct, you win. What are we going to say we win today? How about just some good vibes? Good vibes is the prize for this evening. What number do you normally like to guess, Esper?
Well, given how the seed is terrible, I'm going to guess deviously and say 22.
22, I like it. I usually say 22 when I'm doing commentary because even though I hate when it's 22 as a runner, I like being, a big meanie as a commentator. But you know what? I'm going to go with 14. Oh, I actually I see 14's already guessed in chat. We'll go with 15. And actually, as I was saying earlier, Adalor actually going to be... actually, it's going to be very close between them and Ikir. Ikir is going to be, just slightly ahead here going into GT.
Didn't realize this, but another note here is that Flip Hill is going to be entering GT soon once they finish the blind fight, because they can just go to mirror into Tower of Hera and then finish that up and then go straight to the tower.
Yep, they're not going to be too far behind, just far enough behind that Ikir is going to be able to feed them very beneficial information.
They got the mirror out. This is a hope room play.
Yep. Just $50, and in the other chest we do find a small key, and we're going straight to the left, even finding that small key. I feel like that's not a very common strategy. Usually I feel like if you go Hope Room, you go right. But we do find a small key on the torch. Adalor, on the other hand, is going Hope Compass with that small key. Ikir heading over here to the Stalfos room. See what kind of enemies the game decides it gives us today. Pretty tame room, all things considered.
5.
And there's the big key. Big key in 5. So it looks like
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and plus there was a key on torch. Yeah, this is a done deal.
Yeah, now Adalor going to get that key very soon, finding nothing in compass, and going to just go over here to Stalfos' room. Very rarely, in fact, by very rarely, I mean pretty much never, do you see a full right play. We do have some memers out there, though, I will say. Looks like the what do you call them? The mimic rooms were pretty tame. We'll see what the gauntlet gives us. Gauntlet in Randomizer comes in 2 flavors. It comes in pretty reasonable and completely miserable. So we'll see which one of those 2 flavors we get this evening.
I feel like with Gold Sword, you can make that completely miserable situation into bearable.
Yeah, that's true. Looks like this first room is going to be a bunch of shadows.
Just gotta figure out where their placement is and hook shot in their general direction. Oh man, the one
just
in the
go
wall.
for Go for the spin. Go for the spin. Or that works too. All right, first room, not too bad. Second room,
Even
the
more
exact
shadows.
same thing.
Excuse me. At least
Third
these.
room, we do get a Pengator. A little bit of mixing it up.
Is this the leftover shadows from
Oh,
Thanksgiving? Okay,
there we go.
I was just about to joke about being more shadows in the next room, but there we go. Oh my god, there's even more of you.
All right, so actually a pretty tame gauntlet. Yeah, and Adelor also in the gauntlet here, while Chloe is in
Oh my god.
Turtle Rock. We have a three-eyed Moldorm, one of the easier bosses when they're not in their natural habitat. I think the only boss that is easier, and it's only slightly, is Mothula.
Mothula. Yeah.
Mothula outside of their natural habitat is pretty much a joke.
They're not so tough without the moving spikes.
The moving spikes and the conveyor belt. And, they get that, invulnerability from the spikes. You remove the spikes from their room. Oh my goodness. This room on Ikir's side, I don't know if Ikir has a potion.
They might, but I'd rather them use their magic first before using it. I'd rather like to see them use their magic before even attempting to think about using the
confirming in the menu that there is a blue potion there. I honestly will not be surprised to see them use it soon. Just because, you're almost at the top. You have Gold Sword.
Oh geez.
You have... You have Gold Sword, you have Silver, so, you're not worried about the Ganon fight going badly. And you don't think you're going to need that potion. So I would use it now just to not take a death in the climb, right?
Oh, they can get a fairy off of the...
Not without...
They now have magic power. Magic powder. Right.
Oh, going for the hearts instead of just using the potion.
They got this. They're fine. They're fine.
Yep.
They're
and
fine.
Mothula, our first Mothula of the seed, dead. Opening validation chest, and just giving us $20.
You might as well switch to the cape though, right now. There we go.
There it is.
Don't waste
just
any
dash
time.
straight through. Oh, bonking off the little what's it called there? There are some very scary wall masters in those last couple rooms of GT.
Yeah, that's why I held my breath for a little bit for it. I was not gonna lie, that was some pretty intense climb to Ganon's Tower.
Yep. Ikir in Agate 2, getting a nice double on that first phase. This placement here not looking
Yeah, it's not looking very kosher here.
We got a 2-0-1 so far. This should be at least a single. Alright, 2-0-1-2, and this should be the final hit. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So Ikir going to enter the Ganon fight here very soon. Adelor not too far behind them, while Chloe is fighting Trinex, about to go over, or not Trinex, but blind in Trinex's room.
Yeah, they're gonna finish up that fight.
We'll soon be heading over to Hera, so all things considered, a very close race. Definitely don't forget to track us's race to lose. But a very close race nonetheless.
Yep, while Flip Hill is doing their trigonometry, their teammate is handling Ganon, which they have all the equipment in the world to just finish him off with. Let's be really honest here. Gold sword, silver arrows, half magic, cape.
It's free.
It's free. It's free.
you can get your Ganon fight win at the low cost of free 99.
Not too far behind, Alador is on the hot trails.
Oh, taking a little bit of an unfortunate death. A little scary on Chloe's side. I didn't realize earlier there's a wall master in the first room of Hera.
Oh my goodness.
And granted, getting wall mastered in the first room isn't setting you back very far, right? But when you're trying to set up for Hera pot, still annoying.
Yeah, that could be rather nerve-wracking. But down goes Ganon for Icar.
Yeah, go ahead and get your GGs in chat for Icar. It looks like they're going to cross here and finish with an official racetime.gg time of 1:28:47.
Pretty excellent run there, and not too far off. Alador is on the third phase. Flip Hill right on the trail there.
Yep. Right on the right on their trail. Seconds.
Now, see, Alador does not have silver, so they're gonna have to do some spins over here.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, they never went to.
And now we have seen the difference between silver arrows and golden sword.
Yeah, get your GGs in chat for Flip Heel about the cross with an official racetime.gg time of 1:29:41.
I believe you call that a snipe, right?
And with that, don't forget to track us. Takes the win, and clinches their spot in the playoffs in the Misery Mire division.
As we are joined by a team, don't forget to track us.
Yeah, GG's out there.
Thanks. Flippo should be along shortly. He had to go do something. He'll be back.
So, what was your first initial impression about about the first part of that seed?
Oh, I asked Flippy. I was like, "Okay, we got 2 swords and a lamp. Do you want to rush Aga?" Oh, there he is. And he's like, "Oh, let's finish South Shore and Eastern area first." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we'll do that." And nope, ended up being Aga anyways. But getting that hammer out of Eastern was really nice.
While we were talking, Alador finishes with a time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 24 seconds. GG Saddam, as we await for Chloe to finish up their climb to GT.
Yeah, we are also joined by Flip Heel, so GG to you as well, Flip Heel.
GG's.
Yeah, the whole thing to the flute. That was silly.
Yeah, with it being on the island, it was just a matter of where's the mirror, and it turned out to be where Palace of Darkness was at, right? Correct?
Yeah, it was in the back of Pod. It was the only thing there. It's like, okay, well, that opens up 2 checks.
Yeah, this the beginning of the scene was very linear, and then it just like opened up considerably after you got that flute.
They don't got the flute. The Mets only, the Mets only locked one thing, and that was getting the hook shot out of Meyer. Otherwise, everything else was available.
Yeah. And even then, you weren't really doing Meyer until, like, probably the tail end of the seed at this point. And Swamp was, like, right next to it, so it wasn't that huge of a divergence to go immediately do Meyer now at that point. Especially when you're still trying to find a hookshot, which was... Wait, what hookshot was it?
It was in Boss of Meyer.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Meyer.
it's on Vidi.
I felt so bad when I could have just rushed the boss, but like we'd already had the incident with running into one boss that we couldn't kill, so I was just like, let's just play it safe. But of course the item's just on the boss.
Well, better safe than sorry at that regard. Because while both of y'all were a little bit more thorough, Oops All Foxes skipped out on both the hammer, which was on Eastern, and then Titan's Mitts, which was in Hera basement.
Oh, they did skip them. Oh.
Yeah, they were late to both of those items, which honestly, I think was the major deciding factor in this race.
Yeah,
Um,
had they managed to clean out Eastern at the very least when they first stepped into it, as well as took care of Basement earlier, they probably would have pulled ahead
I guess the hammer's
and
not
had them
that
with.
bad because you get the mirror out of pod and it doesn't open anything unless you have the hammer, so you have to go into Eastern then.
yeah,
Yeah,
they got back to that pretty quick, but they were much later to the Titans mitts in Hera
yeah.
basement.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out like how they could be so far behind us. And like, maybe they skip mids. I don't know how you skip Terra basement when you're up there.
Yeah, my thought what during commentary was just, it's you're in a position where you have to go 2-0, make some risky gambles, and unfortunately those risky gambles just didn't pay off.
Yeah, and I was almost on the other side of the thing because I felt really bad going into desert for nothing, and then I don't know, it just felt like even though we got to the items okay, just like it kind of sucked in that situation. So I was just like, and then he found the fire rod, so I was just like, I'm just gonna do it. I can't kill the boss anyway, so
On comms, I was just like, this desert dip feels so good, and then it just ended up not being the answer whatsoever.
yeah.
Yes.
But at least we knew that the boss had nothing, so like Iker could go mode it later, and I just did it while I was in the area just to like not fall too far behind on crystals. So
Yeah. But yeah, y'all managed to split up the work pretty effectively there, and that allowed y'all to get the win. And I think at the very last bit there, Flip Hill, you kind of sniped the second place spot from Alador with the silvers. Because I don't think Alador took the time to get silvers in Thieves Town.
yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. You had to go in the area anyway, and it wasn't, they're not too far out of the way. And then they're always nice to have an enemizer, like maybe in a regular 7-7, it's whatever. But
I did pronounce that name wrong, my bad. It's Adalor.
And just jumping in again, Chloe getting a nice Agate 2 kill, about to enter their Ganon fight as well.
Like, you have to understand, I'm really bad at names. You have to forgive me.
I feel you there.
I was a former teacher, and I always joked with my students that they'd be lucky if I knew all their names by Thanksgiving, so I'm right there with you. Yeah, Chloe dropping down into Ganon here. Going to be a pretty quick fight. Master Sword Silvers.
Wait, Master Sword Silvers? They got tempered.
Yeah. I said Master Sword, I meant Tempered Sword.
That scared me for a moment. Like, wait a minute, we're going to see a lot of spinning in here today?
We're good there.
Yeah, going into the second phase, 1-1-1. This is amazing work right there.
So also, Ike here, Flip Heel, don't forget to track us. With that win, you secure your spot in the playoffs. How are you feeling about that?
Oh, feeling good. It's our first one.
yeah, excluding like the open season we were in when we were in playoffs, it felt nice to finally get a invitational one, because some of our buddies who like got into season 3 because they naturally got one more win than us in season 2 would always pretty much make playoffs. So to finally actually be in playoffs like they would feels pretty good.
And as we were talking, Chloe finally takes down Ganon. Get your GGs out for Chloe as they finish up with the official time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 22 seconds.
And I think we should be joined by Adalor and Chloe here shortly. I did see in the race time chat Adalor was waiting for Chloe to finish and get their invite before joining us. So they should be in here soon. But yeah, Ike here, Flip Heel, good job. Looking at the league standings, the playoffs this year are just going to be exciting as heck to be SpeedGaming friendly.
Yeah, we're gonna have no idea who we're playing because 5 through 8 are all like 18 points right now, and who
Yep.
knows how that's gonna shake up. So
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay,
see a
let's
lot of mayhem in the later weeks for sure. After this set of weeks is over. Man, I do believe we are waiting to see.
Looks like Chloe's in the waiting room here, so she'll be joining us shortly. And Adalor as well, I believe, should be joining us as well. There they are. And it looks like we are joined by the team members of Oops All Foxes, Adalor and Chloe Prower. GG's.
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 As we were talking with iCare and Flipheel, it's kind of a meme. You say it about every seed, but what a seed, huh?
I really want to just see less compasses on bosses in this mode. It's funny, but at the same time, it's just like sometimes you kind of want to not run into a boss you can't kill like 3 times.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's rough. But yeah, what were your impressions of the first part of the scene? The beginning part was utterly
It was just
disgusting.
this dumb progression chain. Yeah, like it works out to be just like an Agassiz, despite the fact that there is a hammer available. And I unfortunately, I messed up initially because I miscounted items in Eastern and skipped the big key chest. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, there's nothing here. And then we do everything else and we're like, oh, where's the progression? And then we thought about it like, well, maybe I missed an Eastern. I must have miscounted. So that's why we had to go back for that.
Okay, so that explains that part.
Yeah, I was on an intentional skip the big key chest. I thought I had 3 items and just went to see what the boss was and see if I could kill it, basically. So
Right.
Yeah, we were wondering about that because we noticed when the two of you like got your last check, which I think was a Gina.
yeah, the bomb pack on Agena, I was just like, what?
Yeah, there was a long moment of hesitation, and that's the moment where I was like, okay,
I would misplace.
maybe it was
Yeah.
a mistrack or something. But fortunately, it did look like Chloe and yourself immediately caught on and got back there very quickly.
We talked it out real quick, and I'm like, well, maybe I miscounted Eastern because that's like the one thing I didn't open. So yeah, we were right on that. So.
Yeah.
And honestly, like with the layout of the seed, we were talking during the race, and then even after Ikir and Flipheel finished. But Late to the Hammer didn't really impact the race quite as much as that absolutely abysmal Mitz location.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Her basement is gross.
Horrible.
That was a conscious decision to not do hair basement.
I let Chloe make a judgment call there. I think if I was doing hair, I probably would have gone for it, but that's just because I tend to be more thorough. But
yeah, I hadn't realized because doing commentary with 4 screens going on, it's very easy to miss little things here and there.
Yeah, it is.
So I hadn't pieced together until quite a while after that that Hera basement skip was a skip where there's an item there.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's a coin flip, it's a much easier skip, but I was a little surprised with hindsight that was a full skip, but also with like all of East Death Mountain ahead of you. It's not the worst either.
Yeah, like because you do hair and then you've got a lot more on the mountain, and then with me, like I go up there, grab a glove, and then I'm like, okay, well now I can do a lot more on not the mountains. I go to village and whatnot, and I just let Chloe handle the mountain.
Yeah, how often are those 2 gloves going to be in back-to-back checks like that, right?
Yeah, right.
I was actually joking that I was expecting because I had to peek at Spec Rock inside, and I thought I saw the glove for a second. I'm like, are they both just here?
I think I've seen that happen like once. But, yeah.
I was totally expecting just one of the gloves to be in swamp, right? Because they're always in swamp when you don't have one for that long.
Right.
So let's fire out today.
But yeah, there's anything left that I want to ask about?
At least the weaponry is pretty free in this one. Like both your bows are accessible if you dip thieves, which I didn't end up doing because it's time. But all the swords are kind of nice to find. So it's just like, yeah, we weren't really equipment challenge at least. The hearts were kind of. Chloe ended up with like a ton more hearts than I did because she just kept finding them, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad you're getting so healthy while I'm sitting on like 7.
Finding the bosses I couldn't kill either.
Yeah, that was the rough part. Really, it just kept running into bosses.
My first crystal was at a minute 8 or an hour 8, so
Yeah.
that wasn't good.
Thankfully, the only one we ran into was the Argus and Pod. I think we dodged the other ones.
I ran into the Trinex at the bottom of Ice Palace too.
I grabbed that ice rod before going there. Jesus, Trinex, and it was,
I didn't have the hook shot. Didn't want to go into swamp for the fire rod. Just
yeah.
because we'd already know Trinex was in the back of Eastern too. So I'm like, what are the odds he's down here as well?
Yeah.
Oh, we
Not
didn't
co-
check
not-
Eastern boss. No idea.
Yeah, I was actually mentioning that, like when you guys went to the back of Eastern and found Trinex, I was like, even if like we end up finding out that the hammer's there, but I was like, that's still a very good piece of information to have in your back pocket that you already found a Trinex.
I was a bit upset to run into a Trinex there, but I'm like, no, you know what? This is good information because now we know there's a Trinex here, that there's probably isn't another one, and we had that in our mindset basically the whole way through until, there's another one in the bottom of ice. So, yeah. We got doubled on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd already run into the Argus in the back of Pod too. So like, Argus and Trinex are the 2 bosses I couldn't kill when I finished Ice, and I'm like, yeah, well.
Yeah, you were not running very good with boss placements, and I mean, that's unfortunately,
it was unfortunate.
Rando can be a very unforgiving beast sometimes.
Yeah, nothing being guaranteed. You just have to make your play calls and gamble on the items being there or the boss at the very least being defeatable for sure.
Just correctly guess where the items are. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah,
And the
that's
bosses.
just be a psychic. You just gotta be a psychic.
Exactly. That's how you win at this game.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other matches that's going on today for at least this week. So
yeah, do a quick double check here just to make sure. It looks like this evening. Well,
Open has some matches tonight.
Partially, as far as restreams go, it doesn't look like there's anything on the docket except for anybody who's a night owl or potentially in the European time zones. There is a race at 3 a.m. Eastern on SpeedGaming 1 between the Last Locationeers and Shack Tool's digging game.
Oh, yeah.
So, get up early, stay up late, get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and get ready for some late night rando.
That's only midnight over here on Pacific time zone. I might just watch that one.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not from the future in Eastern, yeah, that's that's the way to do it. But with that being said and done, I think that should wrap it up for today's stream.
Yeah.
You give a follow to our runners and their respective Twitch channels, for doing a fantastic job of working through the seed and finishing up in good time, I might add. Like, even a 1:30 time for an Randomizer is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick thanks to comms, tracking, and restream. I know some people join close to the end, so it's always nice. And looking forward to the other game. It was nice clinching playoffs, but it was a good team, and hopefully we get a better seed than this week or this first one.
We won't, but we can hope though.
We can hope.
Is it the same runners for both teams for your second race?
We don't know. It's either gonna be Iker and me again, or probably PRD with somebody.
Okay.
And Chloe and I will play the next one as well because Trey was not willingly play Randomizer. And I understand.
Completely understandable.
That's understandable for sure.
But yeah, GG's again to all the runners, and any other last minute thoughts before we hop off of here?
Thanks again for all the comms tracking and restreaming. Appreciate all the work.
Yeah.
All
Again,
right.
GG's to our runners, and Esper Hub, thanks for doing co-coms. Always a pleasure to do commentary, especially with somebody that I don't believe I've done comms with before.
Likewise. I
Definitely
enjoyed
would
the work.
again. Thanks again to our trackers, So Last Summer and Jewer, to our restreamer, and to, of course, all the viewers out there that kind of make all this happen, and as well as the runners, because without the runners, there's no races.
Until next time, thank you all very much for watching. See you next race.
Have a good evening.
Bye.